can't handle the truth.
When you put cameras right in our face, I really don't know what to say.
Oh, about to say something?
I ain't got nothing to say.
Don't talk to me today.
Be smart what you say.
You want me to say something?
I got the mic, dude.
I got nothing funny to say.
I don't either.
I'm not Brett Favre.
Sorry to let them down.
Yeah.
Let's go, guys. It's a game. It's a game out here, all the players.
Someday with experience, we'll have something funny to say.
Pull out your recorders and hide your children's eyes. You're about to enter the afternoon locker room.
Phelps got a 1-year suspended prison sentence by a judge. He'll have to serve 18 months of supervised probation. He said, quote, "I made a very, very bad mistake and that he now has the tools to move forward and move past this," end quote. He was pulled over September 30th for speeding and crossing the center line on a Baltimore highway. He told police he was at a nearby casino. His blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit. After his arrest, Phelps went into a 6-week rehab program. He's also serving a 6-month suspension from USA Swimming. Phil Yakubuski, ABC News, Baltimore.
And with that, welcome to this edition of the afternoon locker room. As you heard there from our crack reporter Phil Yakubuski from ABC News. Michael Phelps, the bad boy of swimming, has done it again. He's got himself probation after, DUI. He's already on probation from USA Swimming. Can't defend the world title. That's the breaks, bruh. I hate to say it, but, you know, it is what it is. The afternoon locker room, of course, is brought to you by Gigahertz, and that's where we come in. Thanks for coming along, everybody. Hit me up, 573-200-6505. Tweet us at ASN Plus or at Arena Sports Net. Use the hashtag Afternoon Locker Room. And, of course, the Facebook flagship, which is the Afternoon Locker Room. Lots to talk about, NBA stuff. Big trade in the NBA ranks with Rondo. Now going to Dallas. More on that in a little bit. More hot stove stuff, including a big move by the Padres. And NHL stuff from last night. Big night last night. So let's get started with the big topic in the NFL. It is the Cowboys hosting the Colts this Sunday. A win by the Cowboys all but wraps up an NFC East title. A loss put some pressure on them. The big news, however, is the status of DeMarco Murray, the running back for the Cowboys, who leads the NFL in rushing yards by a wide margin. Well, as most of you know, DeMarco broke his hand during the course of that game on Sunday night. And it's a little iffy to see if he's going to go this Sunday afternoon. Well, he says he's ready to go.
I'm competitive, very competitive person, and I want to help this team out as much as I can. And, whatever that, portrays me doing, come Sunday, then, we'll see from there. But I've had 2 good days, and, we'll see how it goes.
Well, he's got a couple of backups, one of them being Randall, the kid that after he had that big game in Seattle, all of a sudden he decides, hey, I want to go to suburban Dallas department store and, lift some drawers and some cologne. Yeah, that was a smart move, bruh. Boy. Sometimes I wonder. Anywho, another thing in football is the future, the future of one Jameis Winston after he gets done in this year's college football playoffs. The sophomore quarterback, reigning Heisman Trophy, or should I say, former Heisman Trophy winner now that Marcus Mariota has won this year's crown. It's something that is on the mind of Jimbo Fisher as they are preparing to take on Mark Mariota and Oregon in the Rose Bowl game.
Jameis loves college football.
but I think he's going to be one of the top 2 players drafted at the same time. So, he's got to make a choice. And, he's got to see what he wants to do. But it would not shock me either way. I understand if he wants to go when a guy's that high and you're doing what you do, but at the same time, education is very. You got to remember, he's a very, very good student.
And he's right about that. Not to mention, Jameis also is a pretty decent reliever in baseball. So you've got those variables working out at you. Remains to be seen. He'll probably make the decision probably sometime after the season's done. Once again, the Florida State Seminoles, defending national champs, will take on the Oregon Ducks, this year's Pac-12 champs, in the Rose Bowl game. That's 7:30 p.m. on New Year's Day. We just got this one in from the trade wire. The Houston Rockets now have acquired veteran swingman Corey Brewer from the Minnesota Timberwolves. This trade will also have the Timberwolves picking up Troy Daniels. They also have that $8 million trade exception. That being Houston, that being Minnesota. It's got the $8 million trade exception that they got trading Jeremy Lin to the Lakers to facilitate the deal last year that sent Lin from the Rockets to the Lakers. Center Ronnie Turiaf, who was out an extended period of time after undergoing hip surgery, is going to leave Minnesota, head to Houston. So Houston in itself picks up yet another big man to help out Dwight Howard. And Turiaf actually will fill the hole that was vacated by Amir Oshik, who left to go to the Grizzlies. Now this is going to be very interesting, to say the least, especially with Brewer. He has 1 year left on his contract. It's a $4.9 million player option, and he had expressed a willingness to waive that as a result of this trade. He currently averages 10.5 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 2.3 steals over 24 games. So this is an interesting trade. I think this helps out the Rockets a lot in the fact that now Dwight Howard has some decent help down low. It'll give him a chance to rest up a little bit. The afternoon locker room presented by Gigahertz. This portion brought to you by Sowers Ford of Michigan City, Northwest Indiana's newest Ford Lincoln Mercury dealer. Continuing on, there is a decommittal in the college ranks. Texas A&M loses its 5-star commitment. Daylon Mack, the defensive tackle, has left the building, and he will announce his top 2 schools on this Saturday. Those could possibly be TCU and LSU. Now, young Mr. Mack is an Under Armour All-American and will be playing in that game very soon. He represents Gladewater, Texas. He's racked up 241 tackles, 89 for loss, and 20 sacks the last 3 seasons. So that's a big loss for Coach Shumlin. As we mentioned, hot stove action going on. The hot stove is flaming for the San Diego Padres. Just yesterday, Matt Kemp's arthritic hips cleared the big hurdle, which completed that 3-team trade between the Dodgers, Padres, and Nationals. Now, bring Josh Upton into the mix. That's right. Josh leaves his brother BJ over in Atlanta to come to the West Coast. So now you've got Kemp and Upton in an already loaded outfield. Does this translate finally into another playoff appearance for the Padres? Again, you just have to see. Meanwhile, the Yankees are still wheeling and dealing. They trade Martin Prado to the Miami Marlins, and in return, they will snatch up pitcher Nathan Eovaldi. With the trade, the Yankees appear they will let prospects Rob Remsnyder and Jose Pirela fight it out to see who's going to be the team's second baseman. With Miami, Nathan Eovaldi threw almost 200 innings last season, finishing 6-14 with a 4.37 ERA. Funny thing happened last night on TV. In particular, the coverage of TNT's NBA basketball. Charles Barkley was actually in New York to do an analyst work. Actually, not in New York, but actually in Chicago to do analyst work for the Chicago-New York game, and Carmelo Anthony was out. And all of a sudden, a Twitter beef jumped off between him and Phil Jackson, who is the president of the Knicks. And I must say, that was a very entertaining exchange, to say the least. Because, it's Chuck, and with everything coming out in regards to the criticism of the Knicks over the last few weeks or so, Phil Jackson's getting a little, shall we say, sensitive about his team. Well, here's how everything started off. Phil Jackson, obviously listening to the broadcast, tweeted, quote, "Do I have to mute this game?" Chuck, just remember your fundamental key to the game. Barkley added, "I can respect Phil Jackson, but he's too old to be tweeting. He takes it personal when people talk about the triangle. You need players. The league has always been about players and always will be." A minute later, Barkley concluded that Phil's gotten sensitive in his old age. And one more thing Barkley put out there as New York fell to 5-23 with that 103-97 loss to Chicago. Quote, "These guys aren't trying to run a triangle and make it look pretty. They're just trying to get numbers." I hate to say it, but Sir Charles might be right in this case, folks. Because, quite honestly, the only teams that I've seen that have run that triangle effectively have been Chicago and Los Angeles. The Lakers, that is. Because you have to have players willing to sell out their own individual numbers for the betterment of the team. Hey, Michael Jordan was able to do it. Kobe Bryant was able to do it. Why can't the New York Knicks? Oh, that's right. Everybody's trying to get their brand together in New York, including one Carmelo Anthony. See, that's where the problem is. It's Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony is still trying to look good. I think, quite honestly, he's trying to one-up his wife, Lala. He needs to stop doing that. For real, for real. That don't look good, bro. Let your wife be your wife, man. You just do what you do. Because that don't look good. I mean, really. Is it that serious? I mean, quite honestly, I would rather you just concentrate on just understand the triangle. I mean, what's so hard about that? It's just simple basketball. But no. Folk just got to be difficult. Well, you got what you got, bro. That's all I can say. The Afternoon Locker Room presented by Gigahertz. We'll be back in a moment. We'll talk more about the association and all the action from last night, and we'll also get into last night's Thursday night football game, where not only did a also-ran win, but someone on the last play of the game said, "Show me the money." We're back after this. This is the Arena Sports Network.
If you are